Yo, what's going on, guys? And today it's been announced that the Philadelphia 76ers are expected to trade Furkan Korkmaz, the Turk, and Jaden Springer to avoid paying the luxury tax. This comes from Marc Stein of the Stein line. Let's get right into it. And look, I love me some Furkan Korkmaz. I'll be the first one to admit it. I was always a big Furkan Korkmaz fan when he came into the league, and he's been on this team for a while. But this year he's fallen out the rotation, going from last year playing 21 minutes a night to this year 11 minutes a night. But he's a reliable career 35.4% three-point shooter. Jaden Springer really hasn't gotten an opportunity with the Sixers just because he doesn't fit their timeline and he needs a bit more reps. So we expect him to be sent to a contending team that needs to spend money like the Indiana Pacers or the San Antonio Spurs. So this comes from Marc Stein. The Pacers sit just above the NBA's luxury tax line, but don't expect them to finish there. The Sixers are currently approximately $1.2 million over the line, but can get out of the tax by shedding a salary or two. The ability to avoid paying the tax has been the expectation around the league for the Philadelphia 76ers, and that they believe that they will either shed Furkan Korkmaz and or Jaden Springer. Moving either player without taking significant salary back would be what the Sixers would want. Neither Korkmaz nor Springer has been a regular rotation player this year for the Sixers. Korkmaz carries a $5 million cap hit with a $5.4 million fully guaranteed salary for him next year, while Springer has 2 more years on his contract, which is a team option technically, both of the years. And right now combined they make $7.5 million. So they could trade both of these guys and they need to get 1.2 million under. So they technically could take a salary back that is 6.3. So if you look around the NBA at guys who make $6.3 million, and they have options out there to go. But I really think if you're looking at Furkan Korkmaz and Jaden Springer, they should call up the San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion. Because if you look at the Spurs need to spend money. And the Spurs might be interested in sending you like Romeo Langford, if that's somebody that they would be, or Keita Bates Diop and eating the rest of that salary. Or you can even call up Indiana and see if you could pry off with that offer, Goga, and he could be a backup center. Or if you can just trade them those two players and they send you some second round picks. I just feel like, Furkan Korkmaz has value. So does Jaden Springer. That's why, if Indiana goes, here, we'll send you James Johnson. You send us Furkan Korkmaz and Jaden Springer, we'll send James Johnson. And you're like, why would they do that deal? Because they're just trying to shed salary. Like, I don't even think they literally made it seem like they don't care about getting a player back. So I wonder what specifically that entails. And yeah, I think it's definitely super interesting to see how this all plays out. I want to hear your guys' opinions. What other deals are there? Because if we go back to the idea of who makes like $6.3 million around the league, I mean, there's some guys, but the ones that they could really realistically trade for. I mean, maybe they could get themselves Kem Birch. I mean, Kem Birch is actually making 6.6, so he wouldn't be there. So Justin Holiday from the Hawks. Don't know if the Hawks would want for Concourse Boss or Jaden Springer. I mean, Rudy Gay from the Utah Jazz. But if you're trading for him, I don't know how much he helps you. Otto Porter, he's out for the season, but you could waive him and only have to pay him for 1 year. I mean, there's PJ Washington, Kelly Hayes. I really, there's not like a ton of options. You might just be looking for like maybe trying to get a draft asset from the Pacers or the Spurs. Those are two realistic teams that I see trading for these guys. Definitely interesting to see how it all plays out. Cause I don't know, like it's definitely a little bit of a weird situation. I'm curious to see how or where the Sixers send these guys. Because there's a few options out there. And I feel like they're obvious at the same time. Not super obvious. Either way, I'm gonna go. I gotta drop off a Sprite to my girlfriend who's like unwell. But I love you. Bye.